Good evening, students. So, in today's session, we are actually going to discuss about research paper main sections. It means what are the main sections of a research paper that you should know whenever you are going to write a conference paper or a paper that you want to submit to any journal. So the main sections that we will have for any research paper will be first one, title. Title means the topic or the name of your research paper that you want to provide to identify your research paper. Okay, that in to which problem you are actually addressing in your research paper. So title is just like, so title will be just like name of a person. So for a person we have a name by which we identify that this person has this thing. So it is just like name of your research paper, but very we can say particularly we have to write the title that it will specify, it will already explain that which problem in which domain you are actually writing your paper. Then we have abstract. Abstract means we can say summary of your research paper. So it is better to write the abstract whenever you complete writing of your whole research paper. But in general, if you will go through the sections, of course, after title, there will be abstract. But it is better to write the abstract, as I told that abstract is the summary of your research paper. So until and unless your research paper is complete, how you can write the summary of your research paper, okay? Even after title, the name of authors and their affiliations that we have to fill, so that we will go through later. Next we have keywords. Minimum 5 keywords you should keep for your research paper. So keywords will actually help the other researchers whenever they will search related research papers. For example, someone is uh, searching for some research papers on IoT, or someone is searching for some research paper on blockchain, or someone is researching searching some papers on, for example, educational data mining. So this type of keywords, related keywords, if you are going to provide, that will help other researchers to find your research paper as related research paper. Okay, so keywords means they will actually try to help other researchers whenever they will actually search related research papers. Okay, so keywords should be related to your domain in which you are writing this research paper. Okay, so that also very particularly and attentively you have to select. So those at least 5 keywords you should keep in your research paper just after abstract. Okay, next, now the main sections of research paper we will have, like introduction, then related work, then methodology, then results and discussion, and then conclusion and future work. In some journals, or you can say conference, we can keep this discussion section as a separate section. Okay, but in some journals you can keep it with results. So that will depend on the format of the journal provided for research papers. Okay, so these are the main sections. But in each main section, what you have to cover, that is also very important. Like anything you can't write in introduction. Okay, you should cover, or you should first start with problem statement. It means what is the actual problem and what is the current status related to the problem, how much severe is that problem, and how much you can say common is that issue that you are actually going to address in your research paper. So you should start with the problem statement that you are going to address in your research. Then next one we have is objectives. Then what are the particular, specific, to the point objectives of uh, the research that you have actually mentioned in this research paper? Okay. So particular 3 to 4 objectives you have to write. So in introduction, first subsection we will be having problem statement, then objectives. So very to the point and clear objectives you should mention, and that objective should specify that what you want to achieve through this research work, or that you have that you are going to actually write in your research paper. Okay, because it may be possible that you are doing a comprehensive project, but in that research paper you are not going to cover all those things that you are going to complete in that comprehensive project. You are only going to write about the part and parcel and a particular portion of your research project. So the portion that you want to write in your research paper, objectives should be related to only that portion. Okay, so objectives should be very to the point, clear, specific, concise, and that you want to actually include in that research paper only. Then we have research questions. So research questions, first you will be having objectives. Then if you are, for example, writing 3 objectives, then in research questions you should also frame 3 to 4 related research questions that will help you to achieve those objectives. So you have to maintain the relationship between objectives and research questions. Okay. Then we have brief description of work. So that will be simply briefly you will describe the work that you have completed for this research paper. Okay, so it will be the brief description. You are not going to provide all the minute details that you have done, because that you will write in methodology and research section, result section. Okay, so that you have to take care that here you have to briefly describe your work. Okay, then next we have main contributions. Then you have main contributions. So main contributions or the novelty of your work, that means what are the main and prime contributions that you have contributed, that you have added from your side in this research work. Because it may be possible the problem that you are going to address for that research paper, other researchers have also written research papers on the same problem. They have also applied the same computational techniques if you are from computer science, or techniques to solve that problem. But what is the your main contribution? Like you have compared more than one techniques, or you have added some extra features to the techniques. Okay, so these things are the thing that how your work is different from the other researchers or other research papers, so that you want to actually defend your work, and that you want to simply, we can say, market your work, market your research work. Okay, so that you, in that way, you have to present the main contributions section. Main contributions means what is the new thing, what is the novelty of your research work. Then we have remaining sections. So remaining sections means simply you will write that in next sections what you have covered. So that is not we can say very much technical. That is the we can say as usual part of any research paper, so that you can write easily. So this was about the introduction section. Okay. So the second section is related work. Related work means you have reviewed other research papers that is related to your work or the problem domain or the computational techniques that you have used. So the similar research paper or related research papers you will go through and you will review, and you will prepare a summarization of the things that other researchers have already completed. But what is the, we can say, objective, or what is the motto of reading or studying other research papers? Actually, the objective of studying other research papers or related in the related domain, or in the, for related to the same problem, because you want to find a research gap that other researchers have also addressed this problem, they have also used this type of technique, but you want to find a research gap that this technique has been less explored. Okay, and or you can say that the combination of these two techniques have been less explored, or you can say that this is the technique that no one has used, if it is in your for your the problem that you are going to address. So that gap you want to actually identify, then to actually to bridge that gap, to fill that gap, you are going to do this research work. So in this way you try to write your related work. Next, let me come to methodology. So methodology means the methodology or the procedure that you have followed for completing this research work. So this will be purely you can say experimental, that how you have completed, which data set you have taken, for if you have taken any data set, if uh, about that you have to write that in data, which type of data set is there, whether it is publicly available or not, or it is primary or secondary. Primary means you have collected yourself, okay, or secondary means you have downloaded it from somewhere, you have taken it from someone, so that will be secondary data set. So all those things related to data set you have to write, how many features like columns you have, and what is the description, what is the range of those features that you are going to include in your data set, and if any pre-processing also you have completed for your data set, that also you have to write. So you will be briefly describe the data set. Okay, then you have to tell the proposed approach or model architecture. It means which computational technique you have used, or if you are going to propose a new architecture, new model, about that you have to write there. So of course, if whenever and wherever in your research paper in methodology section you are going to write about proposed approach or the proposed model, you should include a neat and clean diagram for that. You should give a proper algorithm, that how and in which we can say sequence it will be working. So a proper algorithm you can write, and you should also include related mathematical equations if you that is related to your model or approach. So these are the things that appropriately, if it is related to that model or approach that you are proposing in your research paper, so about that you should include, so diagram, algorithm and mathematical equation. Because whenever reviewers will go through your paper, they will actually looking for these things in your paper, okay, if they are not reading your paper in first scan line by line. Okay, so this will be, these are the things that you must include appropriately if it is suitable to the topic that you have actually selected for your research paper. Then we have experimental setup. Experimental setup means what setup or what specifications you have actually set to complete this experiment. For example, you have used a data set and applied some deep learning algorithms. So what parameters you have used, which version of any we can say library, which Python library you are going to use. So about that, all those things you will write. If you are using some deep learning model, like what was the learning rate, what was the batch size, how many epochs for you run your that complete program. So all those things you should write, and which processor, which GPU or CPU you are using. So all those things you can write, that if anyone wants to replicate your experiment, then what specifications will be required, that you are going to write. Okay, next we have results and discussion. So as I told you, that discussion may be a different section, separate section also, otherwise you can write it with results section. So in results section, what evaluation metrics you have used, that for your model what results you have got, and a performance analysis of the different computational techniques if you are using. So a performance analysis you can do, that for this model we have got this much accuracy, precision, recall, or MSE and NPV, all those things you can mention, that is whichever is related and suitable for the techniques and models you are going to use. So about that you will be writing, and of course this performance analysis should include the results in tabular form, and even you can use some graphs to represent all those things properly. Then also you have to take care that with your results also you should compare it with baseline models. If you have used any new model or any hybrid model, or we can say any ensemble model, then you should also compare it with some baseline models which are very traditional and traditional and from some base class models. So that also you should compare with. And one more thing that you can include, that in previous studies, if someone has used those models and on the similar type of data set, then you can compare your results with the results that other researchers have mentioned in their research paper. So you can write the reference of that research paper and write that they have achieved, for example, 90% accuracy on the same data set for this model, but you have achieved, for example, 92% accuracy. So that also that comparison also you can include. Next we have conclusion. Okay, but let me tell you that in discussion you should include answer of research questions. So whatever research questions actually you are going to write in introduction section, this research questions, so only writing research question will not be actually appropriate. You should answer also that what answer you have got through your research, that also you have to mention in discussion, or you can differentiate it, you can keep it in a separate section also. Let me tell you. So discussion section you can keep in different as a separate section. Then conclusion and future work. So conclusion and future work means actually you will provide the summary of your findings. It means mainly the summary of methodology and result that you are going to write here. Okay, and few things that is related to the discussion. So you can say that in conclusion you will summarize methodology, results and discussion, but very particularly you have to keep in mind that again you don't need to give all the minute details, only the final things as conclusion that you want to mention, only those things you will be actually keeping in conclusion. Then limitations. So of course there will be some limitations related to hardware or the model that you applied. So all those things you can mention. Limitation in maximum 2 to 3 lines. If you are sending to a conference or to a journal, it means maximum 5 to 6 lines limitations. So very particularly you have to mention only that these are the limitations. And next thing is future scope. Future scope means in future if you are going to extend the same project, then what things you think that you will explore. For example, new computational techniques you will apply, or for example new data set you will try to use. So all those things you can mention that as a future scope or future work that you can do as extension of this project. Okay, next one is references. So references means the information related to the research paper or any resource that you have gone through and you have actually taken something, some content, and directly of course you can't use in your research paper, but you have taken from that you can say content and reference of that or infer that from some other resources like research paper, books, or any website or any link that you want to mention. So reference means simply, but there is a actually format of writing references. So for example in IEEE you will write in a proper sequence, like first author's name, then the journal's name, and then year, volume, and all those things, but you have to mention that particular number that you want to keep it, for example 1. Then in paper, within paper, whenever you are using that reference, so you have to cite that with the help of that particular reference number that I will tell you with the example of a research paper. So these are the things, or we can say whenever you are going to write a research paper, that you have to keep in mind. Of course, I will share the link of this Google Doc, so you can create a copy of this, and whenever you are writing a research paper, so you can follow this format. Format means not in terms of font style and font size. Here for this Google Doc, format means the section and the subsection content wise that you should keep in your research paper. Okay, this format is regarding that what will be the format of your content. Okay, format not in terms of font style, font size and all those things, that you can do according to the format provided by the conference or the journal. So these were the basic things that you have to keep whenever you are going to write a research paper. But of course, one more thing that can help you in writing your research paper, that first you go through some related research papers. But let me tell you, in practically you will find that whenever you will search some research papers on Google Scholar or any other database, then it may be possible that you will get a lot of research papers. So you have to filter that which one actually you are going to study properly. So you can just filter the related research papers or the most relevant research papers by going through the abstract and conclusion of those research papers. First try to go through the abstract of the research paper. If you find that yes, it is very much relevant to my work, then you download and you just save it somewhere in a particular folder, and then go through the complete research paper. Then just like for example, or a research paper, if you are going through 6 to 10 research papers, then there is no need to go through more research papers in the first go. Better then you come back to your research paper and write some sections, that whatever you think, so that will be the first version of your research paper. And then again for literature review, you download some more research paper, or you can if you have already downloaded, then you start studying those research papers in second phase, and then again you come back to your research paper and then write something. So it's better to not to write the complete research paper in one go. If you will be writing in incremental way, that if you are studying and after studying 2-3 papers you are writing, so then you will see that you will get some improvement or ideas to improve your content of your research paper. Then, and better if your research work is purely technical, then you first complete the experiment and then try to complete the methodology part, then result part, because through that experiment you will be getting all those contents for methodology and results. So first you complete, then you go to introduction, and then in last you may go for literature review. But in paper you are going to write introduction first, but it is not mandatory, very hard and fast, that first you write introduction, then you go for related work, then write methodology. Because if your work, as most of you are from some technical background like computer science and other backgrounds, then you can directly do the experiment, and then you can write methodology first, then results first, then go through some research papers, then try to write introduction and then literature review, and then finally discussion and then conclusion. And after completing all these sections, finally you should write the abstract or summary of your research paper. Okay, so this is the basic overview whenever you want to write a research paper. Now let me show you one research paper.